Hi, welcome back to Scotland Talks. I'm Ann Scottlin. Thank you so much for joining me here again today, where we're going to talk about joy in your work, in your life, and how living abundantly and celebrating your life can give you less stress and more success. And today, I am going to talk about work-life balance with an asterisk. But first, be sure you've checked me out or follow me on Twitter, Instagram, my website, annscottlin.com, on social media, the handle @AnnScottlin. And please like and subscribe here or on whatever platform you're listening so that I can keep this content coming to you. And before I get started, I also want to remind you to please check out my new book, Live for Joy. I think you're going to love this. This is a fantastic book, and it's beautiful inside as well as it is outside, and the written content as well as the images, the photography, and the art. So check this out. You can see the link here on your screen. If you want to take a peek inside, click on that and it will take you where you can take a look inside. So again, thank you so much for being here on Scotland Talks. Let's get started. I'm Ann Scottlin, and today I want to talk about, just for a few minutes, about work-life balance with an asterisk. And the reason I put that asterisk there is because, you know, in the old school way of thinking, the work-life balance was a balance of two things. So work versus life, you know, like those old scales, work or life, and how do you get it in balance? And it's a useful principle. I absolutely understand that. It's a useful principle, but it's changed a lot because it used to be that work was not at home, work was in the office, and home was home. And then in more recent times, it's become a little more convoluted with technology and everything else interfering with each other, these two zones of our life, work and life. And then just recently, in the last couple of years, as you know, and as you've probably experienced, work has become so much more complicated, and so has life, because they're kind of just jammed together now. And how do you make them both work? How can you work from home when you have other people in your house? How can you work and get your office work done when you also have people clamoring for food, or sports attention, or laundry, or whatever it is? Sports attention? What is that? What are these people in your life clamoring for? Friends, spouses, significant others, kids, even pets, because most of us didn't have pets in our office before. So now we do. If you have pets, they're in your space, in your house, and they do things like bark, some of them. So how do we do this? And how do we, get this work-life balance thing working? Well, my asterisk thing is I don't really see it as work-life balance anymore. It's too this versus that for me. I like to talk about it as work-life integration. Work-life integration, because quite honestly, I think it's very unlikely for the average working professional in any kind of who has ever been in a traditional office environment, it's probably going to be a long time before it returns to the way it was, if ever. So how do you find the tools to have work-life integration? How do you find those tools? So this is part one in a 5-part series on work-life integration. And I'm just going to give you a quick overview so you know what's coming. So next week, point number 1 is going to be patient and kind with yourself. So how do you practice being patient and kind with yourself when you have a somewhat chaotic environment going on around you? And what are things you can do? What are tools you can use to kind of emotionally keep it down a notch, keep it down a level, stay centered, stay grounded, and I have some very practical applications for you. Number 2 is going to be get help. How, who, with what? All excellent questions. So to have an effective work-life integration, how can you get help to make things easier for you? And number 3, week 3 is going to be how to organize your time in a revolutionary way, how to organize your time in a revolutionary way to make this work-life integration actually achievable? I am far from an idealist. I'm more of an optimist realist. What is that? I'm an optimist realist because I believe like life is going to happen. It's never going to be perfect. Work isn't going to be perfect ever. Home is going to be never going to be perfect. It never was. But now that they're just together, how do we find ways to take, reality, and how do we find ways to make it positive, to make it workable? That's where a little optimism comes in, because I love tools and things that help us create stability and peace and joy in our life. And then the fourth week is going to be how to make your own well-being a priority. Because when we're trying to do this work-life integration thing and you feel like you're juggling 6 balls in the air all the time, the one that usually drops first is your own wellness, your emotional wellness, your physical wellness, your spiritual wellness, all of you. That's often what gets dropped first, especially if you're a professional that has a lot of people in your home that you might be responsible for or that are clamoring for your attention. So how do we do that? And what can we do without taking more time to successfully find a way to protect our own wellness? So that's what's coming up in our my five-part series on work-life integration. What I would love to have from you is some questions and comments that I can address during the podcast in the next coming episodes. So please write in the notes below if you are on a platform where you can do that. Write comments, write questions for me, or you can always go to my website and send me an email there with your questions, with your suggestions, or situations and scenarios, even in your real life. How would I solve this issue if that's going on with me right now? What could I possibly do? I feel completely stuck. Or, maybe you had a breakthrough of some amazing thing that helped you get unstuck and has really helped you with your work-life integration. I would love to hear that too. So please leave me notes here, leave me messages, shoot me an email. I'd love to have you just be a central part of these next few episodes in this 5-part series on work-life integration. I'm super excited about it. So let's get the ball rolling. Send me your thoughts, and be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast, and as well as my social media on Twitter, Instagram at Ann Scottlin. Check out my website and my book at annscottlin.com. And there's a book link here on your screen, which will allow you to take a look inside the book and just check out the details of my brand new book, which I'm getting some really phenomenal feedback for. So I would love to hear your thoughts as well. Thank you so much again for joining me here today on Scottlin Talks. I'm Ann Scottlin. Be well and have a joyful day. I'll see you next time.